Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now we'll understand few important properties related to S3. Okay, so let's start with that. So first we'll look at the requester page. Okay, so this is one of the options that S3 provides. So if you go into the buckets and inside buckets in the properties tab, right, and if you go down, there is this option of requester page. So what happens basically in the requester page? So there are basically, if you enable it, suppose you have a very large files, right? Say big data sets, etc., that you're storing in your buckets. So you pay for the storage cost. So as the bucket owner, you will pay for the storage cost, but the retrieval cost, right? So if someone is downloading those data set or retrieving that data, then you have, if you want that, the person who is retrieving it should pay the charges for it. So basically, this requester pay will give the opportunity for the bucket owner to uh, move the request and the data transfer cost to the requester, and the bucket owner will only own what the storage cost. That's it. So one more thing is for requester pay, the requester should have the AWS account. Okay, otherwise AWS cannot bill, right? AWS has to bill the person, right, who is requesting. So for that, AWS account is compulsory. So this is one part. So this is one of the properties of S3 requester pays. The other one is object lock. Now what happens basically? First thing is object lock requires that your uh, bucket be versioned. Okay, it should enable versioning. Okay, so I'll just enable the version and just show you. So when it is in the disable mode, it means you can overwrite, right? So whatever data that you're writing, you can overwrite it, you can modify it, you can delete it. But suppose I want some data, it should be like write once and read many. So this model, right? Write once and read many. If I want that kind of things or objects, basically this kind of model, so that I can prevent the objects from being deleted or overwritten. This is very important, right? So my file should be untouched. That is the point actually. It shouldn't be deleted and it shouldn't be overwritten. It could be for the compliance reason, mostly for the compliance reason. It could be financial data, bank data, etc., audit data. So mostly related to those things, you can have the object lock. Even you can have for the backup. Say the point is here the default retention to automatically protect new objects into this bucket from being deleted or overwritten. So this will just enable. So there are two things here. When you enable it, this gives the right basically for you to enable the object lock, that you can use the property of object lock. Now, how will you enable the retention and etc.? Here it is. So the retention mode, there are two parts, okay, governance and compliance. Now what happens in the governance mode? So basically, user with specific permissions, like you could say the root user or the user with the administrator rights or specific IAM permissions, they can actually override this right or deleted or protected object version. Suppose in the governance mode, I say that okay for 30 days, uh, okay for 30 days, this should be in the lock mode. Okay, the object should be in lock mode. Say I am uploading salary.pdf, something like that, and I enable this default retention mode, governance mode with 30 days. Now, suppose in between on the 15th day, suppose I want to overwrite or I want to delete this particular file. In the governance mode, it is possible that a root user or a user with the specific IAM permission, it can go and actually do that thing for you, overwrite or delete it. Okay, during the retention period. After the retention period, obviously the object is actually unlocked. You can do whatever you want. But in the retention period, it is not allowed except for the users with the IAM permissions. But in the compliance mode, no users, no users can do anything during the retention period. So for 30 days, it is blocked. So it is like strict object lock. Okay, just keep that in mind. It is a strict object lock that happens in the compliance mode. So just keep this thing in mind. In the object lock, first is your bucket should be versioned. Second point, first you enable it. Okay, so this gives you the configuration. Now you can enable it. Okay, and then and this is for the complete bucket. Okay, just keep that in mind. This is for the complete bucket. So then you enable it here, and then the retention period. So it has two types of retention, that is governance and compliance. So just keep that thing in mind. And one more thing, say like during the retention period, I cannot delete my bucket. Now you might think why I cannot delete my period, delete my bucket during the retention period. So I mean, answer is simple. Say there are five or six files. Just take six files, okay, which are in the lock mode, and the retention period is say 30 days. And today is like 10th day or something. Okay, just take that example for now. So if I try to delete the bucket, what it wants is my bucket should be empty, but my bucket won't be empty, right? Because there are objects in the bucket, and I cannot delete it because of the retention because of the object lock that I have enabled. Okay, if it is in governance mode, then it is still possible because that particular user can go and delete the objects. But say if it is in the compliance mode, then obviously it is not possible. You have to wait till 38 days. So that's the point here. Yeah, and then related to this, there is one more. It's a legacy feature, which is the vault lock. Okay, Glacier vault lock. So this vault lock was actually when we had this S3 Glacier vault as a separate service, like S3, but now it is part of the storage class. Okay, so now this S3 object lock you can apply it for the individual object versions, and then as for the Glacier vault lock, it can be applied for the. It is applied to the entire Glacier vault. Okay, and what gets locked the so the compliance policy that you would create, right, for that particular vault, okay, in the Glacier, so that would be actually that itself is locked, you cannot change it, so it is immutable. Okay, keep that thing in mind. And the granularity, it is like at the object level, and this is at the vault level, and retention is for per object, and your same policy for all archives. Okay, and then there is one option of legal hold in this object lock. So legal hold is like for a particular object you can go in actions, and then you can apply a legal hold. Legal hold is like compliance mode, so it is like no one can actually change it or touch it or delete it. Okay, so that's a legal hold, and it is like it will never get deleted. So that's a legal hold. And as far as the governance and compliance mode, we already seen it. So all these things are not available in the Glacier Vault log. In the compliance mode, you can see that policy itself becomes immutable. But this is a legacy feature. It is not being used much now, but it is just for the knowing purpose. Say in case you are giving some certification exam or something, it is good to know. So this was about the object lock. Now let's look at the another important property, which is your transfer acceleration. In the transfer acceleration, first of all, you get this accelerated endpoint, which is different from the normal endpoint for the uploads. Now, what happens basically? Say if you want to upload some file, okay, then what will happen? In the normal case, without acceleration, what will happen? Your computer, it will go through the internet. Don't I mean it will go through the internet. It will connect or upload the file to your S3 bucket using the internet. It will not use this edge location or global private network of AWS. Hence, it is obvious that it will be slower. And so suppose the file size is bigger, then obviously it will take a lot of time. But with transfer acceleration, what happens basically? You do the upload, then it will go to your nearest edge location. Okay, from your region, it will go to your nearest edge location. From your edge location, now AWS has the global private network. So using that network, it will go to a particular region. Say suppose I am in Mumbai, and then I want to, and my bucket is in US East 1. Okay, so what will happen basically from my Mumbai region? What is my nearest edge location? It will go to that, and from there it will take the AWS global private network, and then directly to the S3 bucket in the US East 1 region. So here that is why the transfer becomes very fast. The only problem with transfer acceleration is like there will be additional cost that will be incurred. So that is why AWS recommends that it should be only for specific use cases. It shouldn't be used that frequently. It should be for a very you could say specific cases. Otherwise, you might incur a lot of cost. And then see how would you do it? Like I told you, in without acceleration, say this is my AWS CLI, AWS S3, copy. Say this is my zip file, and this is my bucket. So this is a normal upload that you would do actually to the S3 bucket. Now, with acceleration, first of all, you configure. You will set the endpoint. Okay, whatever the endpoint that you got here, right? You will just take this endpoint. You will put it here. You will set it here basically in the acceleration. You will set the acceleration endpoint, and then when you do this, it will automatically use the accelerated endpoint. So you don't need to worry about it. You just need to set it in the your profile basically, and then the CLI will pick it. Similarly, there are options in the SDK as well. You can directly use this accelerated endpoint. So this is the transfer acceleration. So it provides this option of using the AWS private network, and then hence the performance is also very fast. Now this was about the transfer various properties like transfer acceleration, object lock, and requester page that we have seen. Now there is one more interesting interesting thing that we can do. Okay, so if you go to metrics, okay, in the matrix you have this storage class analysis. So what this storage class analysis will help you to understand? Basically, it will help you to understand See, we have this life cycle, right? For all our objects. So what should be the life cycle transition that I should apply? That I should apply for our objects. So how would I know that? I would need some kind of report, or because there are millions of objects that I might have in my bucket, right? With so many folders, it is very difficult to understand. So either I go with the option of intelligent tiering, or the other option is actually I can actually use this storage analytics, or you could say storage class analysis. So you will, once you configure this basically, and then if you export this to CSV, it generally takes around 24 hours after the usage. So the output would look like would look like this. Say suppose I have prefixes in my bucket like images, log 2025 backups, etc. archives. It will give the count of objects here. What are the number of objects in the folders? Then what is the total size in each of the paths? Okay, or each of the prefixes basically. And then what is the average object age? Now this is important. What is the average object age in the prefixes? So here in the images, I can see that average object age is 10, and this is another important field. Access trend is high. So when I say access trend is high, that means it is quite frequently accessed. The images are quite frequently accessed. When I see logs 2025, the object age is 120 days. So it is like around 4 months. And access trend, I can see that it is very low. Okay, so very rarely accessed. Then you have backups, which is like the object average object age is 45 days and access trend is medium. I might be using backups here and there. So it is in between range, not very high, not very low. And archives is like almost null, and the average object age is like 400 days, and the size is 19. So based on this, you need to decide, okay, what should be my transition cycle, or when should I do the transition. So like say for the first one, I would say like keep in standard S3 standard. For second one, I am saying that it is very low. Low means I might be using it, but very rarely, and the average object age is also 120 days. So I can move it to standard IA after 90 days. After 90 days, I'll move it here, or maybe after 30 days itself, something like that. So I can move it here. Then in the backups, okay, I'll just keep monitoring because I'm not very sure right now what should be the option here. Either you can go with intelligent tiering as well. That is also one of the options. In the archives, it is very clear that I am almost not accessing it. I'm just keeping it for my backups and etc. For my safety, basically for the archival thing. So you can just directly move it to your instant or flexible, or you could say deletion as well. Depends on you. So this is how you can infer, and based on that, you can create your lifecycle rules. So that's the whole point of your storage class analysis in the S3 bucket. So it's all about these 3 or 4 features that I wanted to discuss. Thank you so much. Have a good day.